Y'all, this might be the first week in the history of our weekly Best New Metal Album show that I haven't chosen any death metal albums. Well, kinda. Welcome, metalheads. I'm the host of Heavy Metal Philosophy and writer for Metal Digest, JonBarbas. Make sure you stick around to the end of the episode for this week's album art of the week. It's the weekend. That means we got new metal albums to listen to, and I'm bringing you my 5 favorite. But as always, before we jump into the top 5, I always shout out the big releases of the week. So let's get that out of the way real quick. Now, a lot of times on this show, especially during the big band section, where we talk about more mainstream acts, somebody will comment, "That's not metal." And they'll say it in a derogatory sense. In this case, I could see it happening, and it's not derogatory. This may not really be metal, but there's a new album from Coheed and Cambria, Vaxis Act 3, the father of Make Believe. And yeah, this one, they could just be a rock and roll band, a prog rock band, really great prog rock band. I get it if you say this isn't metal. Although Welcome Home is one of the most heavy metal songs I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, what do you think? I feel like a band like Coheed and Cambria kind of gets an honorary, yeah, y'all are cool in our books. Most of us like Coheed, right? And next up, we got one that'll make all of my fellow millennials feel old. Red Fang is celebrating their 20th anniversary with a compilation album called Deep Cuts, which is a career-spanning collection of songs that were demos or didn't make full albums or ideas that they didn't finish. But I'm more sitting here thinking, God, 20 years. After I listened to this record, I went and had a shower beer, and then I stared in the mirror and said to myself, "You're still punk rock, JonBarbas. You still got it." And lastly, before we jump into the top 5, one more big album, Warbringer, Wrath and Ruin. Y'all know it's pretty hard to find killer new thrash metal bands, but there's bands like Enforced, there's bands like Warbringer, and this is a highlight of the week for me. Y'all check it out. Coming in at number 5, Svart with Evig, black metal out of Norway, and I'm almost certain that I mispronounced that. So as always, the text is on the screen, and every band's Bandcamp link will be in the description so that these records are easy to find. And this is a really interesting record to me because it's got a wide gamut of black metal moods. You got the atmospheric black metal, you've got the mid-tempo stompy black metal, you've got the furious and unrelenting black metal, but it doesn't matter which mood this band is exploring on this record. Every single song, the vocals are whispering. They're just whispering like this, while all of that furious tremolo picking is going on, and it was really off-putting in a good sort of way. It really turned my nerves in my body, made me chill a little bit. And also, I can't help but wonder, how are they going to do this live? How are you going to have the gain on the microphone high enough to pick up this guy doing vocals like this and not pick up the drums and the guitars behind him? I don't know, but on record, it sounds cool. Check it out. Coming in at number 4, Death Ox with Hallucinations, thrash metal out of Italy. And this one's going to be interesting to see in the comments because I think you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. Because the thing that sets this record apart is either going to be endearing or off-putting. It sounds just like early 80s Metallica. In fact, if you listen to this song, Heavy Shadows, that's Sanitarium. That's straight up Sanitarium. Just different lyrics, different cadence, but it's basically Sanitarium. And there's lots of Metallica-isms on this record. Now me, as a early 80s Metallica stan, I absolutely love it. But I can totally see some other critics going, damn, this is a Metallica ripoff, and totally tearing this record a new one. So, what do you think? Coming in at number 3, Thrash with Purulensis. Did I say that right? Right there. Text on the screen again. This is industrial sludge metal out of France. And what I like about this one, when you hear the word industrial, a lot of times you think of fast music. This isn't really that fast. It's kind of mid-tempo. So whereas a lot of industrial bands make you want to really get hype with it when you move your body, this one's kind of filthy, like, lip curl. And the electronics in it, they're not futuristic sounding. They are the origin of the word, very industrial sounding, very harsh and unsettling. So the whole time you're just like, oh, and that's not stuff I like, y'all. Coming in at number 2, and this will be my weird one for the week, Desiderium, Keys to the Palace. This is extreme progressive metal out of, I think, Arizona. I got conflicting reports. We'll say Arizona, but this one is for all you nerds out there like me. If you're a guitar nerd, you're going to be thrilled with this one. If you're a prog nerd, you're going to be thrilled with this one. If you just like it quirky, you're going to be thrilled with this one. I love how the vocals, they just have no regard for the riff that they're over. It could be the most disgusting death metal riff, and it'll have these whimsical, clean vocals over it. Or it could be this nice, like, upbeat part, and then it's got deep, growling gutturals. It's just whatever this guy is feeling in the moment. He puts it on paper and then composes it into some sort of words escape. You just have to hear this one to understand what I'm saying. And hey, before we do number 1, I just got a couple things I want to say to you. If you like the best new metal album show every weekend, there's 3 ways that you can support the show. I'll talk about 2 of them here. First, you can head over to JonBarbas-shop.fourthwall.com and get you some sweet heavy metal philosophy merch. We got a little bit of everything: t-shirts, tank tops, long sleeves, jackets, hats, water bottles, whatever you might need to show everybody I'm into metal and I'm smart. And hey, maybe you don't like the designs this go round. They will change at the end of the summer, and some of these will go away forever. In the meantime, one of the other ways, and the most important way that you can support the show, is just by watching the whole episode all the way to the end and hitting the like button if you liked any of these bands. It goes a long way, massively appreciated. I'll tell you about the 3rd way to support the show at the end, but before we do that, let's do number 1. Coming in at number 1, Night with Cult of the Serpent Sun, blackened trad metal out of San Francisco. And longtime subscribers might remember that in 2022, I loved their last record, Voices of the Cronian Moon. This band does the impossible, where a lot of bands, they try 1 or 2 things. They either try to sound like something you've never heard before, and there's a reason why you've never heard that before, or they try to sound like their old heroes, and they wind up sounding dated. But not Night. Night pulls off the impossible. It's like if you look in a cemetery and it's pitch black and there's somebody standing there with a leather jacket and sunglasses. A lot of people that try to do that just look ridiculous. It's so cheesy. Every now and again, there's somebody that looks totally cool doing that. That's this band. The way they do the old school metal, it's not throwback. It's not dated sounding. It's just cool. So when I look in that cemetery and I see that band with their leather jackets and their sunglasses at night, I just go, hell yeah. All right. Y'all didn't really think that I was going to do one of these top 5 episodes without any death metal, did you? Dealer's choice this week, we got an EP from Cartilage called Tales from the Entrails, a necrology. This is death grind out of California. Now, most of the time, I'm not big on grindcore because there's no songs there. It's just abrasive for about a minute and a half. They move on to the next one. There's a reason why they don't ever make 8-minute songs. But this album rules. And I think it's because it's got this sort of grindhouse cinema vibe to it. You really got to see this guitar playthrough they put out. I think it was called Frothing Vomit or something. I'll put the text on the screen, and I'll have a link at the end of the episode for you to watch it. Now, if you're anything like me, I don't really watch guitar playthroughs unless it's like a band that I really, really love and I want to learn the guitar parts myself. I think they're kind of boring to just watch somebody play their guitar part. So this band has a solution for that. They made their guitar playthrough entertaining. Definitely want to check this out. Once again, I will have a link at the end of the episode so you can go directly to that song. Check out Cartilage. Now let's do the album art of the week. My favorite album art this week comes from An Evening with Knives, End of Time. This is stoner metal out of the Netherlands. And this week, it's another one of those cases of where the album art and the album title pair so well together. End of Time, and then you've got this desert scene with these sort of monoliths down in the valley. Very curiosity generating. My only complaint about this album art is that color scheme. When you look at this, you already know this is going to be a stoner metal album. I have to give kudos to the band because they're a stoner band that don't have the words mammoth or bong or wizard or sleep. You know, those stoner bands that all have the same very cool band name. But that art, you're only going to get that color scheme on a stoner metal record. Give me a little bit of different color, and then I really wouldn't know what was going on, and I would be super intrigued. Either way, you guys rock. Love your art. Love your music. Y'all check it out. And I got one more thing for you. I will make this quick, y'all. The third way to support the show if you can. If you need some protein powder, just click the link in the description and I'll get you a discount on this NutriCross protein powder. I'll get a small commission. Win-win for all of us. They do not sponsor the show. I just am using a product that I've been using long before I ever started this YouTube channel, and I figured we could help each other out. I chose this because I wanted whey isolate with minimal ingredients. And if you check out the ingredient list on this, it's like 5 or 7 ingredients. None of that hydrogenated, macro, pure, mesyl, marsupial smegma, just whey protein, peanuts, cacao, a little bit of sunflower lectin, just basic stuff. If you want some gains, listen to these records that I've talked about this week, get in the gym, get you some protein powder, but most importantly, read philosophy, listen to metal. I